So here we are, the final curtain on what's been an eventful monk life, to say the least. This is the Battles of Brother Purple, the final episode, 29. We are sitting here by the same old rest shrine in front of the What Goes Up quest. I suppose it's an apt finishing point, isn't it? First, because it's a test of where you're at with your build, and secondly, because it's kind of an analogy for the tiaring process. You'll go up and you'll come down as something else. So as we sit here contemplating life's many mysteries, staring up at the cloudy sky and the mists rolling across the snowy peaks, let's take a moment to reflect on the life that we've just completed. I say just completed. You'll be looking down at this and thinking, hang on pal, you've another million or so XP to go. But you might recall I prepare all the epic sagas. So by the time we've taken by the time we've got the What Goes Up experience, plus the 5 sagas, I think we'll be near or at the cap. If we don't quite make it, I'll do 1 or 2 in the, we'd started with the bear, the Jurassico chain, the, what's it called, Delirious Tomb. So I'll do 1 or 2 of those to get there. I was a little bit aggrieved actually. I'd done some questing, 1 or 2 quests with the bear leading up to here. The bear, as you might recall, has a cleric caster build, so a very good accompaniment for a character like this, providing the much needed ticking heals in the background, the AoE support so we're not getting absolutely slaughtered. My character is quite good at rounding up everything around it, but not so very good at taking sustained damage from those things. So that's where the cleric comes in, for obliterating the stuff. So as a team we did very well, I thought. We did all 4 quests together actually, leading up to this point. The 4 in the Stormhorns. One note I made was that the air elementals is yet another example of a problem for melee against ranged. Ranged can just zap them with a spell or an arrow and no problem. The melee, every time I tried to get near, I got knocked over or blown away or something like that. So that was problematic. Same for quite a few of the end bosses that stun and shock you, like the dragon in Don't Drink the Water, or various giants and things that push you away. I wanted to show you an example of a nice armor that I found in the it's not that. This comes from one of the quests in the Demon Web, I think, and that would actually have been great for us, even better for a hand wrap monk, but for the fact it would break whatever set that you are using, which invariably includes a piece of armor. So I was left slightly bemoaning the fact that armor is always part of a set and you never really want to break the set. I mean, in this case, to wear that, we would be losing 10 double strike, 10 melee power, 5 bonus to helpless, 5 fort bypass, all of which have been an integral part of what we've been trying to do with our build. So it would have been somewhat counterproductive to have equipped that, which is a shame, because there's a whole host of things that that are dropping that people really just not going to use, except for perhaps for flavour. Let's just see how the thing looks, talking of flavour. Let's put it on. Oh, we'll bind it to you permanently. It's not bound. Oh, I don't see as that's going to matter. Nobody's going to want that, are they? Go on then, equip it. Let's have a look. Take the cosmetic off. Oh, that's as dull gets, isn't it? It's a monk's garb, but apart from that, no thank you very much. Okay, Where is our cosmetic thing? This, I'm very attached to this. He's going to stay in that for the duration, I think. That's a proper purple gear. Speaking of gear and comments we've made on the way up, several of the chains, in fact a load of them, Three Barrel Cove, Giant Hold, Shadow over Wayloon, and the Stormhorns, all of them, the loot is basically just feedable, apart from the Gibber's Blade, of course. And I was thinking it might be nice if they get a, because they periodically they do a bit of a revamp of certain chains and loot, don't they? Because it's just, aside from feeding to sentient weapons, it's absolutely irrelevant, that stuff, which is a little bit unfortunate, because as a newer player, I remember I would often drop these blue items and think, oh great, and think, hang on a minute, no, this is worse than some of the random loot I've collected. So, yeah, I would like to see that one day. A word on the UMD, which we've obviously struggled with during the levelling process. It has got better, and when you reach the cap, you can use the basic things without any help. I mean, without greater heroism and that kind of stuff. So we can do the scroll of teleport, we can do the scroll of resto. Greater resto we might just about manage with the heroism and the rest of it. We can raise with a scroll, so it's got a lot better. The problem is when you're building it from the level 1, and it takes you ages before you can even use a fire shield scroll. That was a problem, but at the cap it's quite workable, I think. Even without the UMD tome that purple has, I think you would comfortably be able to do the teleport and the raise with the benefit of a greater heroism, which I guess you'd either have to have the belts that we've been using. And speaking of which, that was a great help, because there's no way we could have cast greater heroism scrolls, or you'd have to have somebody cast the thing on you. Or there are heroism potions, of course, from the guild vendor. Right, I can't do a final episode without having a parting word for Crystal, our faithful owl companion. I thought it would be just a sort of a gimmick side show when initially we went into this falconry tree, and it's been anything but that. As any kind of caster, if you were in there, I suppose you'd just be in there for the helpless damage, and most, if not all, casters come with their own better crowd control anyway. But for this melee, as far as I'm aware, our only crowd control came very late on at level 26 with the amendment to the Drifting Lotus in the Epic tree, Grandmaster of Flowers tree. Before that, we had these 3 excellent bird attacks. If you ever wanted to see an illustration of how good they are, just look at the level 27 episode going through the Giant Hold Tor. We were blinding and knocking stuff down for fun, and it was great fun, as well as being very effective. Going into a pile of opponents, hitting them all with the coordinated strike, which I will remind you is bugged and hits far further than it should do. Blinding everything and then following up with whatever against helpless opponents. Just happy days. So big shout out to the bird. It made this life really fun for me. And that aside from the bird, this tree just had so many nice things. The helpless damage, the trance for the extra on the tactical feat and damage. That 50% fort bypass, huge against any bosses or fortified targets, the undeads, the elementals, all that kind of stuff. Quality bonus to hit points. Extra assassinate DCs to help the bird attacks to land. Just really, really good. Healing amp as well. PRR. The only lackluster thing I can find, I mean, there's no fillers I've taken there at all, I don't think. It's all been good stuff. The only lackluster stuff I find down here is the cores themselves. I mean, if you can call a 1 point in a stat lackluster. But these things, not amazing, are they? Which is why I didn't really push to go and get the core number 5, because it's in my opinion very lackluster. But I think it's more than balanced out by how good the tree is itself. So that's the bird and the falconry tree. That's my first ever foray into there for anything other than the helpless damage, and I'm very pleasantly surprised by how that's played out. If you consider we finished our run with 80% base fortification bypass, that's before the bird hits. So when the bird hits, it's 130. So even, you know, undeads and elemental types with the standard 100, I think they're going to get crit every time, or every time we roll a crit. So that's pretty awesome, and against bosses, pretty good. So what have been the big strengths of the build? Well, I've just mentioned one. The fort bypass has been insane. The helpless damage obviously was another one. We were on 55% bonus helpless damage, so that was very good. Spell resistance is a third. Now we're on 43. That's just between epic trees and monk levels. With a spell res item, we could have sent that up to, and perhaps beyond, every 2 spells in 3 is a fail against you, which would be pretty awesome, and that's not something I've seen, probably not ever. So the monk does have some pretty unique defences, although when they do actually manage to hit you, it hurts pretty badly, because your resistances in robes are poor, but they've got to hit you first off. They've got to get past your reflex saves, your spell resistance, your dodge, which ours was just insane. Ours was 40 in Reaper, so add the 50 of the Hood of Unrest, and that's a 90 against an end boss for however many seconds. So tasty stuff. Although you do notice it's like falling off a cliff when that thing runs out and you suddenly start losing chunks of health. You realise, oh hey up, I'm not actually invincible here. What else have I got written down here? Oh yeah, we did the legendary version of the quest on the edge of the bridge with the bear, on the edge of the Evening Star Bridge, the Mask of Deception, which can only be done on Elite, which is just as well as it's a level 30, I think. We got to the end all right, open the chest, she gets an epic treasure, which is fair enough, it's an epic quest, and I got a heroic version of the same treasure. And I'm thinking, what on earth? So I felt right royally cheated. It was the Blazing Sun orb. She had the epic, which is a level 26 thing, I think, and I got a heroic level 18 in an epic quest. So, developers, please. What else have I written here? I've said that already. I liked, yeah, the several unique effects here. The cauldron being one, not just the graphical thing, but the large area that you get to play with. I think that's quite a nice mechanic, and I learnt to use that. I mean, it has its drawbacks. If you get pushed out of it for any reason, as happened to me once or twice, or your target moves if it's an end boss, that can be a bit of a But if you can foresee a tough situation, like, let's say, that same quest, that Mask of Deception, if you know that quest, you'll know that quite early in it, or no, let's say in the middle of it, you open a door and all hell just breaks loose. About 20 folk come charging towards that door. So to stand there in the doorway with the cauldron going, and preferably a cleric behind you casting, what is it, those 3 meteorites that fall down. Do you know, I only did it last life and I still can't remember. Is it Comet? No, not Comet Fall. You know the one I mean anyway, the level 9 cleric AoE spell with the knockdowns and all that, that leaves you wondering what on earth's going on because it's falling all around you. So yeah, that I got to realise where were the nice situations to apply the cauldron. In fact, between that and the bird attacks, it it was a nice exercise in, well, what tools do I have, and when should I apply them for best effect. I tended to save the big drifting lotus, for example, for the reapers. Reapers I would try to blind first with the bird, then just hammer them with the lotus, you might have seen, and that tended to work quite well. And the lotus was the other thing I'd noticed for the nice effect, like this star that comes out in the colours of the damage being done. So it's fire and force, and it's like a pinky colour with a yellow. I've enjoyed that, and it's seriously effective as well, we should add. I'm thinking about making some changes, reference the next time around. Uh, in part because I've singularly failed to get any half decent artificer related items, so I thought I would shunt that towards the back of the order, as is my right as the creator, and replace it instead with a stormsinger, which I think we can do okay with the gear that we have. My plan as well is to use, because I've used them seriously sparingly over my time in the game. So I wanted to see if we could use iconics where appropriate, just to see, what was in the racial trees, how it played out. I can see some positives and negatives to this. There's a certain charm in going all the way back to 1, but it's also the case in quite a number of the builds that the spells and the things that you're doing down there at the lower levels bear no resemblance to what you're doing towards the end. So it might actually help somebody like me to start at 14 with an iconic, and with spells that I might be using at least for a long way, if not all the way to the cap, instead of going, halfway and then replacing all the buttons as new things come available and getting confused. Because that's one of the things I've struggled with on this life and in the last one with the favoured soul, to adapt to the change. Being as I don't play the builds at the cap, I never get used to sort of the set of the buttons and into the groove. It feels to me like we're just about getting to a reasonable groove, like where we are now, and things all turn about and we're doing another class. I totally would go and play a monk again, at least this one. I can't comment on the hand wrap one, but this has been great fun, and I would definitely recommend to try, especially if you happen to have one of those elemental bloom things lying about. Now, I don't advocate farming, as you know, but if you run the Temple of Elemental Evil and happen to have one of those drop, then consider one of these lives. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. So yes, I've rejigged the order on the About section of the channel, and when I've put an I in brackets, I plan to try to use the iconic version. The Tiefling Scoundrel seems to be a really good match for the Bard, so I look forward to trying that out next time around, although we will be having a bit of a break in between times. But I'll be bringing you that one next, see what we can do with it. I have done, it's going to be a Stormsinger. I have done the Stormsinger before and thoroughly enjoyed it on my main character, and believe it or not, I did it properly as an all-out Stormsinger, which is what we're going to do. We're not going to do any of this 15 points in Stormsinger and the rest as a normal bard would do nonsense. We're going all out like we normally do on these lives, all out in the tree that we're sort of showcasing, so to speak. The single biggest thing that's been rammed home to me this life, aside from not being able to hit flying targets, which is so annoying when you're alone, is that it seems obvious to any of you who play melee regularly, I'm sure, to give the damage, you've also got to take it. So there's none of this hiding in cheesy spots and just picking the end boss off from somewhere where they can't hurt you. You've got to be toe to toe, and in some cases, well, in many cases, taking a horrendous beating in return. So that is quite challenging in itself. Okay, I think that's about all for the waffle. Let me just, well, you can see obviously where the enhancements ended up. I think I had a couple of points in Harper as well, just for +1 on the weapon and +1 to hit and damage there. Let's show you where the epic destinies ended up. So my idea beforehand was to be in Fury instead of here for some strike through, but I was blatantly neglecting the fact that that would leave us with no workable heal. This thing really is what kept us going through tough situations, so I've no regrets at all about having gone in Sentinel. The mixture of the extra fort, a nice bonus to saves in there as well, plus the excellent renewal heal was very good and very instrumental in seeing us through many a tough situation, and the top-up heal in between battle for almost no cost. First time ever in Grandmaster, thoroughly enjoyed it. Bonus to speed, I mean the speed already is electrifying. I've loved that. I've loved the wings, the abundant step, great fun. And once you get used to it, you know, you can just take off and you can do so much. You can sort of jump over a gap and to some enemies that are annoying you, and deal with some things that you might not even have thought you could reach. It's a lot of fun, and lots of nice synergies with our build. Stunning DC for the Quivering Palm, and oh sorry, no, that's Assassinate, isn't it? Stunning DCs for the Lotus, the Drifting Lotus save. Extra damage, brilliant cleave attack, which ends up being able to give a stun as well. Damage to the helpless. Extra strike through and double strike, awesome for us. Spell resistance and no failing will saves on a 1. Fort bypass, just really good stuff. And in here we had the more melee power. That remember was for magical training, so we could keep our weapon from being broken with the imbue from the Fade Arc. Thanks to Wagon again for the advice on that. I get the impression that's not going to be the first time we use that particular stunt. Assassinate DCs for the bird, great stuff. A few reflex saves, more reflex saves, AC, and then we get the good stuff up here, more fort bypass and the immune to energy drain and more double strike. So happy days. Let's just have a quick look where the stats ended up. Our wisdom was reasonable, certainly not amazing. Remember, we kept the same gear that we had from level 21, so nothing amazing in there, but we did have 1 or 2 key pieces that have seen us through. The crocodile tooth from Salt Marsh was amazing. Accuracy, insightful accuracy. Armor piercing, which was a big part of our efforts. That from the part of the family set was great. The true seeing, obviously armor piercing became obsolete, but the fury, bonus damage, true seeing is great for anybody who's displaced or blurred against you. So that was very, very good. The mysterious cloak, 45 extra healing amp, super nice. And this thing, wow, the Whispering Ring, Assassinate 11, happy days. Bird attacks, mauling everything, and the quality, accuracy and deadly were not bad either. That was a nice item for us. Stunning, ghostly, and then the driftwood braces for our healing needs, plus insightful wisdom. So with some half decent gear, just nothing beyond 21. But or at least so far, it's done well for us. So no complaints. Skills, we maxed concentration because I learned during this process that affects the key bar. I think it's the amount of key that you can have. Is it the amount or the regeneration or both? I know it's very important on that side of things anyway. I went as much as I could in heal. Took plenty in jump. I put some in spot because we had some left over. UMD I maxed and we got to a semi-reasonable number. I do have a diamond of charisma slotted to make some of the UMD casting less painful. Balance was maxed. I think that's about it. And the usual point in tumble was there, I guess, somewhere. Yeah, the point in tumble. Feats, we go through them at every level, so I'm not going to go through that again. Don't need to go through any of there, do we? Let's just have a quick look at the main features we had here. So yes, helpless damage bonus 55, fort bypass 80, with the bird hit 130, so really, really good. Strike through at 180, so we were always hitting 2 opponents and more often than not hitting 3 every 4 shots in 5, which made our healing shot usually hit 3 as well if we could have 3 in front of us, so that was good. And that was giving maybe 100 a time, 100 for each one it hit on low Reaper, so that's a pretty nice thing to have. And lastly, the dodge that you've already seen, which is a key part of our arsenal. 38 max, 40 in Reaper, which we did manage to get to. And the saves, pretty respectable. Falling away a little bit. They could probably use the bonus from the Grandmaster tree. I was a bit disappointed that didn't seem to work with the water stance, so the bonus wasn't doubled for some reason. But it's okay. The saves were decent enough anyway. Even better in Reaper. With the greater heroism and the Reaper bonus, the reflex save is well into the 70s, if not going towards 80. So more than acceptable, I think, for anything in Epic. Unless you're talking 3-barrel cove, in which case forget it. Those traps are just lethal. I remember once getting a bit cocky and going in there and trying with something that I thought had a decent reflex save and just got wiped out immediately. The game has a way of making you realise that you're not as good as you think you are. Right. I think that's about it. Let's just show you melee power. 172, not terrible. Double strike around 40. So not terrible, any of this. We've managed to do pretty well with what we have. So the challenge in front of us is twofold. First of all, we're going to go in here and we're going to try and match the heroics of our favoured soul self last time out, which is a tough order, but I think we can have a good go. And secondly, we're going to try the quivering palm against Wagon's favourite pillars and see if we can assassinate a pillar. That's the mission. Let's get on with it. As per normal on this channel, if something goes desperately wrong, I won't be repeating it, especially not after all that mountain of waffles. You'll just have to take my heartfelt apologies for ending on a low, but I'm really keen for us to end on a high. It's been a really decent journey, We've had a few downs, but more ups, certainly. I've had a lot of fun on the way, learnt plenty, and I would love for it to end on a big high. That's the stun from the beautiful start. That was the drifting lotus stun. Very nice. Bird. Heal. Oh my god, no! I don't know what hit us there, but it can stay there. Oh, 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 oh. Keep the healing going. Oh, hit us for all that. It took half our health. Was it you? My word. Talk about a struggle. That was a wake-up call, wasn't it? I think we better get our game faces on, people. I forgot the fact that our favoured soul had a lot more defence. He was in medium armour, wasn't he? A lot more defence than we have. Well, oh, don't tell me we're stuck. The PRR and MRR he would have had. Crikey, that would have been awful to fall literally at the first hurdle.
Freshly constructed woodwork spirals up into the
This is my first quest since the server came back up, so I'm going to be a little bit rusty, thankfully, with the length of this one. Maybe by the time we get to the end I might have straightened myself out. Now you guys. Oh, we're going to have to deal with them, aren't we? Okay. Bird. Thank you, thank you. Yes, beautiful bird, beautiful. Now let's try the old zoom and boom here. I'd say that worked pretty well, except for the fact there's a Reaper in the middle of all that. Can we bird you? Yeah, the bird got him, but we took heavy damage. Let's just have a little pause here. Thankfully, when out of combat, that heals us very quickly. Oh, I've gone the wrong way in all the panic. Okay. I think there's a Reaper in the middle of that as well. I think we got him with the blind, yeah. I keep forgetting to do the heals. Bird. Yeah, we need to... against big groups, we're not quite as effective, are we? That's fair to say. I much prefer things coming at us in ones and twos. Beautiful stuns, yes, awesome. They don't last long when they've been stunned, do they? We could perhaps use the bird against these. Yeah. Nice job. I'm worried by how quickly we get chunked down when we do get surrounded. Gotta get used to throwing that healing. And target the things that really need to die. Now there's two things that need to die in there. I think we're going to have to go in and do the bird. I'm just not using the healing shot at all. That's a real letdown at the moment. Okay, first shrine reached.
To the heart of the glacier at last. Bright light plays off the walls on the path ahead. Far across the air shaft, a lone wizard stands upon a platform, immersed
Goodbye.
in some arcane task.
I think there's going to be one or two more here. We can see one, can't we? Bird. Crikey, even blinded he was killing us. Or she. It.
A netherese orb floats beside a barrier, almost as if the two were linked.
Bird. They don't half wander around when they're blinded, do they? Now, can we bird you?
These two
Nice. Okay, that'll do.
clearly more sophisticated.
After the way we started, I'm grateful for any little bit of progress.
Something has gone horribly wrong. As the wing, something has gone horribly wrong.
I always do the open everything, and usually it says horribly wrong like that. And I think all it means is it's just opened everything.
Hidden behind a banner at the back of the cell is a gold netherese orb. Curiously, there is a small silver keyhole in its side.
Gotcha. There's more than one assassin in this house. Anything in here apart from a nasty spell ward? Oh, there is. Crest of the Wolf. I'll take it. Now you see, as soon as we get to facing just ones and twos, I suppose you could say this about any class as well, but we're a lot happier against the ones and twos than the big groups. So we're looking for the guy now, aren't we? Is he in there? They often hiding behind some of these things. Nope. Now, are there any opponents down here? Oh yes, okay.
There you are.
Oh,
Right.
where are you?
Don't have a moment to spare.
I can't see you. Where is he? Ah,
Good, you found the crest. When the coast is clear, we'll meet by the Mythalar Chamber's barrier.
okay. Now where is it? It's round here, isn't it? That's definitely our go-to button, the Drifting Lotus, in just about any situation, especially when we're drowning in key.
In the chamber ahead is the Mythalar. Ah, and it seems the spell to awake. Go on. I'll guard your back.
How are we doing for buffs? Let's just get the heroism back on. So yeah, you can see the saves, reflex save in particular, is looking quite tasty with the Reaper bonuses we've got. And you can see the dodge has gone up to 40 now. I can safely say I've never had a dodge anywhere near that.
Breaking her part in the spell. Deal with this nuisance.
Ooh, that thing at the back. Bird, help me. She did. I made a complete mess of the instant kill attack there, so I just broke out the big one. Anytime an end boss is just going to stand up like this, the cauldron is just amazing. Keep the bird attacks coming in. Our healing is not looking great, our health rather. Need to try to outlast in these situations whatever it is we're facing. Yes, nice. I don't like to interrupt my combinations to throw the non-quickened renewal in there, but sometimes you just have to if you're really taking a pounding. Now that's one thing I'm not worried about. We're running out of mana because there's only one spell we do. Well, two if you count the imbue. Let's refresh the imbue.
One of the marvels of antiquity, alive before our eyes. Now, we must not lose hope. We live yet, and as my uncle always says, a hunt silver never quits the chase.
Okay. So far, I think the favoured soul was more impressive in clearing to this point, which is fair enough because the quest definitely favours it. Big packs of things all over the place for it to make helpless and then just slaughter.
To the air, the battlements of an entire army cover the glacier. Never is never meant to march on.
Now what do we do there? Do we just go in recklessly? Of course we do. Having to throw a heal in there. Yeah, we can stand up to a bit of punishment, but only so much. Now I must try to remember the section where we it's a bit further than this, isn't it? There were some people up on a roof or something that suddenly appeared behind me in the favoured soul one, and it caused no end of bother. All done. Now that is as good a use of the cauldron as you are likely to see.
The gate comes down. Giants' angry bellows issue from beyond.
I think I should have been using some quivering palm here because these guys were causing me big problems. It was the fact they were in a group I didn't, but I should have. Now this is where it happened. There's a thing sticking out here. No, it's not quite here, is it? I think we have to... okay. That's the quivering palm we remember. Now are you going to move or are you just going to stay there? If you're just going to stay there, I'll be happy. And know there's some things up here. Don't they appear up here somewhere? Ah, yes. Bird. Oh, why have I thrown myself into the middle of this mess? That was really reckless. Get me out of here. I need to be out of here. I need to be out of here. We need to live. Are we fatigued or something? Die. Well, that was a lesson, wasn't it? No, you will not go and YOLO into the middle of the group. The favoured soul would have dealt with that. We just didn't have the firepower, I suppose. All the while, Mr. Giant on the bridge there, blissfully unaware. Okay, take two. So compared to the caster version of ourselves, we can say we're struggling, I think it's fair to say, compared to that. But the last thing should now it's there. They fall from up there, don't they? Those things. So I think I'm going to. Are they coming down anyway? Okay, I'm going to try and tailor this to suit us. You come to me if you want some piece of the action. We're still in the circle here. Nice one. For once I actually thought about what I was doing. Right, I've seen you coming wandering through thinking you haven't been. Unfortunately for us, he had Death Ward. I know there's more than one. They're just gonna come dropping down here, aren't they? Yeah, here we go, okay. Nice. Well, that went better than last time. I think I got interrupted 3 times trying to make a mini speech at this shrine last time. This time, of course, we're not going to need it. So, fair to say it's been a significantly bumpier ride, I think, than the favoured soul had up to the top. Several times, well, one time we had to absolutely flee, didn't we? But we've made it. So we're aiming to test our quivering palm against the pillars. If that works, that'll be a proper bundle of laughs, because otherwise we're going to be struggling, I think. Do we still have shield? We still have. No, we don't. Do we not have Death Ward? We do now. Keep the healing coming. Let's try and get to the pillar. No, doesn't work against the pillar. Oh my god. There's too many. Too many. Unlike the favoured soul, we can't cope, can we? We don't have the heal, and we don't have the outright AoE damage to cope with it. So I'm going to stick my neck out here and say if we prevail in this iteration on this quest, I think it's a bigger accomplishment than it was with the favoured soul, because this is tough. Now can we start beating on this pillar? Bird. Oh, don't keep hurting me. Oh, gonna have to deal with them. The one thing we've got in our favour, we're never gonna run out of key, or well, hopefully not mana. We are critting it. Nice, okay. Or bird attacks, they can never run out either, so... Okay, let's run... Oh, he's disappeared. Alright, let's go that way. Doesn't seem to be too much that way. Let's go for this one. Bird. Oh god, thanks for that game. Thanks very much. Oh, what's that in the background, the Reaper? Heal. Heal again. Okay, get stuck in there. Bird. Oh man, one escaped. Yeah, it's okay. That's two. No, 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 no. Can so quickly kill us. Have to use our speed more. They're all coming. Stunned. Our imbue's doing very well against them. Right, come on, number 3. Go away. I think we have to get rid of these rock things anyway, don't we? So we may as well get started. Oh Jesus. A Fear Reaper, just what we always wanted. Let's collect the soul, make sure we can keep powering our heals. Die! No, 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 run! Run! Hands! How did we not die there? Some kind of freeze he did on us, the bugger. We must have been on a sliver there. Nearly fell down the hole. That's another of my little things that I do. Bird. Heal. My God, yeah, it's not even close, is it? This is desperately more difficult than it was on the caster. Hang on, we've still got 2 pillars left, and it's gone to this. Come on, kill it. No! Oh, we're in a nightmare. We're in a nightmare. I hate this change of colour. I can't see what the hell I'm doing. Okay, we got one. Are you gonna face us now? No! Keep the healing coming, boy. My God, I hate not being able to see. Can we just get rid of Amska? I don't want to face him right now. I want to get these. No, we're dying, we're dying, we're dying. Got 2 of them on us, we can't take it. Do have 1 more hands left. I'm not doing anything, I guess, with these pillars until the Shadavar have gone. I think we've killed 2. Four, maybe? Don't die now, don't die now. I think we've got all the elementals, have we, as well? Oh, shit! Oh, I stepped outside the circle. Silly boy. Oh, Reaper, no. Go the other way. What is all that stuff down there? That looks horrible. What is it all down there? I really don't want to face that. I think we might have to. Lag, lag, lag. Oh. Okay. Let's keep pressing on round here. Oh, does that mean our shield's gone? It might do. Shield. I'm gonna have to try to oh, no, no, don't die! Gonna have to try to get these pillars, aren't I? Somehow. Bird, bird. We got them all! So there's just, is that right? There's just him left. Let's try not to move too much then, and maybe he'll come to us and we don't have to risk so much. I think he just sits there, doesn't he, at some stage. I'm just gonna bide the time, wait, see if he'll come to us. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it would be as tough as this. That's another eye-opener, the final one I guess, just how much tougher it is as a melee, and I think a lot of it has come from the fact that we have no alternative but to close to do our damage. He's over there, isn't he? Oh, so he just disappears and leaves us with all this pile of stuff. Thank you very much. Trying to use the bird to equalize the playing field wherever possible. Should I just wait for him? I don't want to blunder into another pile of opponents if I can help it. Oh, he's there. Get him. Hit the cauldron. Come on, boy, do it. Halfway there. No, no invitations. No. Go away, other people. Come on, we've almost got him. Everything in. Oh, he did this to me last time, the swine. Where's he gone? Oh, we were so close. Get him. Come on. Yes! Yes! Beautiful.
You have paid with your lives, as I.
No, we haven't. We've survived, matey. We have survived. I think you just sort of jumpy around here and then it gives you the optional reward. It's a funny one. Sometimes it doesn't give. There we go. Absolutely delighted at that. I can't say it was easy. They hammered us, didn't they? I'm getting quite used to finishing the life on this this scene here. I think this is a fitting way to end with a really tough quest and well, the last two times we've done it, it's been a triumph at least. Where are we looking? There we go. We'll have a bit of that. Beautiful. Well done, the monk. Stunning 14. We could actually have won that. Wow. I think that was reinforcement where it needed. That I couldn't just have gone all out on attack. I absolutely needed that renewal. Without that we'd have been utterly dead and buried. There was no way we were going to make it on just the healing shot alone, even had I remembered to intersperse it at regular intervals. Yeah, I think this is a suitable quest on which to end any life, and it's a suitable test, isn't it, of the metal of your build. Goodness me, we had to scrap and scrape there. Wow. I think it was the bear said earlier, you come back into these areas and it's almost like you're in God mode when you go up against these folk in the normal area, in the wilderness area rather. Have I even got a... yeah, I have. Sneaky little bonus.
Oh, open it quick.
Right. More than happy at how that panned out. I was a bit surprised, to be honest. I expected us to... oh, really? I expected us to stack up a bit better against the favoured soul, but it just goes to show I obviously wasn't aware in that last one. I don't think you are as a caster, of just how much you avoid just, you know, dropping the bombs from distance and all is rosy with the world. And when you're the poor sod that has to go in close, even with the crowd control, because I was usually leading if I wanted to live with either the lotus, the sweeping bird attack, or one of the two individual bird attacks, or the quivering palm to just straight out kill. And even with that, getting sort of surrounded was just not a good place for us to be. If we had to make a stand, I would use the cauldron, and sometimes that would be okay, but maybe I underused the cauldron. But my memory is going back to that one particular time where I went through that door a bit YOLO style and had to flee with my tail between my legs. And more than once up on the top with the Mythalar. Oh, that time where the screen went purple and we were just running for our lives for much of it, weren't we? Suitably epic way to end anyway. I'd like to thank you all for following along, for the many helpful hints and suggestions along the way, and I hope it's brought you as much fun as it has for me. I think that's all for now. I will see you all in the fullness of time for an iconic Stormsinger life, if that might be of any interest. Until then, look after yourselves, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.